Hey Aubrey, how's it going today?
Hey, Lindsay, I am wondering, because we're talking about this
Yeah.
today, do you have any friends that you've lost touch with?
Sadly, yes, I've lost touch with a few people, especially because I spent a lot of my 20s living abroad and I met
Mm,
some very cool people that I wish I had made lifelong friends, but life just moved on once we went home. Uh,
yes. And it's trickier
and
because
yeah,
Facebook didn't exist. Like when I lived in
right.
Montreal in Europe, we weren't friends on social media. So unless you wrote letters or called, it was harder to stay in
Letters.
touch.
Letters, it's so antiquated, right?
Yeah.
Thinking about writing letters now, right? There was no mechanism for that, to be honest. Or I think the time I was abroad, Facebook was just getting started,
Mm.
2005, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, now it would be different. I think you're right.
It's
Yeah.
definitely easier, right? But still, we have to proactively keep those
Yeah.
connections, or even if you are friends on social media, I'm sure this happens to you too, Lindsay. There may be like months or years that go by where all you see are their like Facebook updates, and you're
Yes.
still
Yes.
not, putting in the effort to keep that friendship strong.
It's so true. It's so true. So today's episode is getting to this topic, right? How to, greet a friend when you haven't seen them for a long time. And this question came from YouTube. What was the question, Aubrey?
Exactly. Someone commented on YouTube. Definitely, guys, if you want to watch our episodes on YouTube, it's fun to see the video there. Someone commented, can you record an episode for meeting a friend we've not seen for a long time? I love this
Mhm.
question. There is different vocabulary. There are different things you'd say when it's been a while.
Yes, 100%. 100%. Guys, go ahead and hit follow on this podcast. Don't miss it, right? Make sure you catch all 5 of our episodes today that come out five times a week, guys. Make sure you catch it. All right. Good
All
stuff.
right, let's
Where
dive
to,
into
Aubrey?
some great vocab here.
Okay.
Some fun, interesting things that you can say when you first reach out to a friend you haven't seen in a long time, or if you run into them. It's been ages. So
Mhm.
you might say, so good to see you. It's been ages. This means it's been a long
Mm.
time since we've seen each other. It's definitely a
Oh,
fun way to exaggerate.
it's been ages, right? Really putting your intonation into that.
Mhm.
Um, I can't, or you could say, I can't believe how long it's been since I've seen you. It's seriously been ages.
Yeah. So you'll see sort of a running theme here that if you reach out to someone you haven't talked to in a while, or if you run into them, you want to comment on it. It'd be kind of weird. Just be like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
You want to use one of these phrases to point out that it's been a long time, and you're sort of saying it's a bummer, like, oh, it's a bummer that it's been so long since we've seen each other.
Yeah. And the next one is going to let you do that too. It's another way to do that. A very native, slangy way to say it, right? It's been forever.
Yes, or I haven't seen you in forever.
Forever.
And we really emphasize forever. What a fun way to exaggerate.
It's fun. Yeah. So good to see you. It's been forever, right?
Exactly. I
Yes.
haven't seen you in forever. How have you been?
It's kind of strange the way we put it there, but we do all the time. Okay.
Yeah.
And then another one to say, Aubrey, would be what?
Yeah. To say that you have lost touch or that you've been out of touch. So I might
Yeah.
say, my dad and I have been out of touch for a while. So this is sort of a bonus of how you can talk to someone else about a friend or a family member that you haven't seen for a while that you've lost touch with.
Yeah. I
Or if
love
you're
that idea.
talking to someone, you could be like, I can't believe we lost touch. It's been
Yes.
ages.
And again, it happens easily, right? Because we're
Yeah.
just busy and you kind of just, they fall off your radar, right? Would be, we could use that for different things, maybe more like
Yeah. You
items,
probably wouldn't say it to someone's
not
face, "You
person.
fell off
No.
my radar," because that kinda means, like, I
No.
forgot about you. But we say this when it's like, "Oh, this person fell off my radar."
Yes, 100%, 100%. Sorry, go ahead, Aubrey. Yeah, did you have another example?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, another example is, I lost touch with my childhood best friend. So just like, if there is someone that you haven't seen in a while, then you could say you lost
Mhm.
touch.
Yes, 100%. Love it. Okay, Aubrey, let's take a look at a role play where we're gonna bring these all together into one conversation, yeah?
Yeah, and this role play shows how we can use these phrases not only to meet up with a friend we haven't seen in a while, but also to connect about whether or not we have kept in touch with friends.
Yeah, there's always that meta conversation that we can have, right? And so
Exactly.
almost every episode, we show you the literal functions of that conversation. And then you can always take that to a way to talk about that kind of conversation or that kind of circumstance. You guys have a lot of connection options today. Okay.
Exactly. Don't reserve these just for when you run into a friend you haven't seen in forever. Use
Yeah.
this to connect with anyone. Ask
With
them like
anyone.
Lindsay did at the top of the episode if they stay in touch with friends.
All the time. I mean, for example, I am still in close touch with my best friend from high school. And so we meet up every time I'm back in New England. I give her a call, go over to her house, whatever. But I'm not as in touch with our other third best friend or close friend. And I always ask her about how that person's doing. And I say, oh, I've really lost touch with this person, And so that would be that kind of conversation. It's like
Exactly,
talking
right?
about that
Have you
third
kept in
person.
touch? It's been
Yeah.
ages since we've talked. And you
Yes.
guys would talk about, these other friends that you might have lost touch with.
Exactly. So here, Aubrey, in this role play, we are again chatting about those high school friends. All
Yes,
right.
exactly. I'll start us out. Have you stayed in touch with anyone from high school?
A few people, yeah, but I've lost touch with most of them.
I didn't go to any of my high school reunions, so it's been ages since I've seen any of them.
What about childhood friends? It's been forever since I saw any of them.
Nope, I'm totally out of touch with all of them.
Oh, yeah.
This is really
Yeah.
true for me. I have not kept
Oh,
in touch with very many childhood friends. Every now and then, if I go back to Idaho for like 4th of July, I'll run into someone from
really?
elementary school or high school. And this is what I would say. It's been ages. How have you
Yeah.
been? Or I haven't seen you in forever.
It's kind of like the plot of every movie, right? It's the plot of what is that movie? Sweet Home Alabama, where she goes back to
Absolutely.
Alabama. Great movie.
Run into people you haven't seen in forever.
Yeah, like her life has changed completely. She's living
Yeah.
in New York and she comes back. Great movie if you haven't seen it, guys. So you said first, what'd you say, Aubrey?
I said, have you stayed in touch with anyone from high school? So that means, have you stayed in contact? Have you been speaking with them?
Yeah. And then I said a few people. Yeah, but I've lost touch with most of them. Right. Okay.
Yeah, so
Lost
stayed
touch.
in touch, lost touch is the opposite to mean like, no, I haven't stayed in touch. We haven't really been talking.
Yeah, good. And then you said I didn't go to any of my high school reunions, so it's been ages since I saw any of them. It's been
Yes, just
ages.
been a
Yes.
long time. I'm exaggerating ages. It's been since the Jurassic period that I've seen any of them. Definitely hyperbole here. And I'm curious if this is the same in other countries, if you have these high school reunions are where years later you all meet up just to see, what's changed in your lives. And I haven't gone to any of them. Have you, Lindsay?
Nah, I went to my 5 year, but 5 years, like what? Nothing,
Not
right?
much
Nothing's
later.
changed in your life. Since then, I have not. I think there are some places in the country where you're more likely to find groups still together from high school, like adults, like you're 40 and you have kids, and now you're still hanging out with your high school friends. I remember being at a party once. I think I shared this on the podcast. My friend Guy, he obviously has branched out, but is still close to some high school friends as
Mm.
well. And I was at a party with him, and all of a sudden they started breaking out the high school yearbook. And then I thought, it's time to go home. It's time
I
for
will
me to
take my
leave.
leave.
I gotta go home now because I don't really care about your high school
I don't know
yearbook.
anyone
I
you're
wasn't
talking
there.
about.
Yeah, it kind of
Totally.
becomes a little weird, I guess, for spouses probably, or girlfriends,
Yeah.
boyfriends, partners, but also just anyone.
I know that's kind of a trope that your partner is always dreading going to these high school reunions because
Oh.
you're catching up, you're sharing these old stories, reminiscing, and they're like, I don't know any of these people. I wasn't here for any of this.
Yeah, completely, completely. All right, where do we leave off here, Aubrey? Where
Yeah,
did
so I
we
had said it's been ages since I went to these reunions. And then you said, what about childhood friends? It's been forever since I
Yeah,
saw any of them. And
and I'd
now
say
you're
the
talking about when we're very young, like pre-high school, like elementary school.
oh my gosh, yes. Could you imagine just see like because you remember them as a kid, as like a 8-year-old
Right?
kid, and then imagine seeing them now. I don't know, it's crazy.
I had a
Um,
crazy experience this summer where I was playing pickleball and someone came up to me and they were like, Aubrey, they knew me and I didn't recognize them at all. And they told me who they were. I hadn't seen them since they were probably 10.
that's
So, of course, I'm not going to
crazy.
recognize them. I
Of
don't know how
course
they
not.
recognized me.
Wow, that's so crazy. I love that. And by the way, this one, it's been forever, is the one I use the most, I would say, personally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too. I think so too. It's been forever. Just means it's been a
Mhm.
long time.
Yeah, and then the last one you said, "Nope, I'm totally out of touch with all of them." No, also very
Yeah.
common. Yeah?
Yes. And this is interesting because out of touch can mean sort of like uninformed as well. There are a couple of different meanings of this in English, but in this case, it means I've lost touch. I haven't stayed in contact.
Yes, 100%. I love it. Now, there is another episode that our listeners could check out that is related to this. It's kind of complimentary, but they need to go over to the Business English podcast, right, Aubrey?
Exactly. That was Business English episode 288. Who should you greet when arriving at work? And we gave you great phrases there for greetings at work. So if you work in Business English, you definitely want to check that one out.
Yes, I love it. All right, good stuff. Aubrey, where should we leave our listeners today? What is the final thought of the day?
Yeah, there is a lot here. Not only do you need these phrases when you run into a friend you haven't seen in quite a while or reach out to them maybe over social media, but also, sharing with a friend whether or not you have kept in touch with people
Yeah.
is a great way to connect.
Yeah, so these phrases are functional for many different kind of conversations, one-on-one
Absolutely.
conversations, no matter what whoever you're talking to. It's very useful, guys, and super common, like I said, especially that it's been forever, all the time,
Yes.
everywhere.
Yes, use these, right? Ask a friend or a family member if they've kept in touch and use these phrases to share whether you have or not.
I love it. Good stuff. Aubrey, thanks for being on the show today. And guys, go ahead and hit that follow button. All right. Good stuff.
Yes.
All right. You
Awesome.
take
See you
care,
next
Aubrey.
time.
All right. Bye.
Bye.